Hello, and thanks for making it to Veterans Info Tap. Thanks for making it today. I wanted to talk to you quickly, fast video, about secondary conditions. There's been a little bit of confusion out there, at least what I've seen and heard, and I just want to shed a little light, at least my perspective, on secondary conditions and how do you apply for those, and what does that process look like? Just a high-level kind of conversation, really, with you to make sure that you're putting things together in a very conscious way, and making sure that you're building a file that when you submit it to the VA, you have a greater likelihood of success. So please hit the thumbs up for me, all that good stuff. I really appreciate it. Subscribe if you haven't already. So with secondary conditions, the big difference between filing for a secondary condition versus just a standard service-connected condition is the Nexus. So if you've watched any of my other videos, I'll mention Nexus and I'll go into a little more detail on Nexus and sums. But the bottom line is the Nexus is the link between your condition, a diagnosed condition, and your time in service. Show that it manifested or began or as a result of your time in service. It does not mean that the military caused it. It could have been something you were predisposed to getting, and it manifested during your time in service, okay? So that's for a standard claim, right? Showing that it manifested during that time frame. Well, now let's say that your back problems that you're service connected for 5 years down the road have gotten worse. And now they're causing you sleeping problems. You can't stay asleep because you wake up and either your legs are numb or maybe it's up in your upper back into your neck and now your arms are numb and you're waking up and you're in pain and you're shifting and turning and tossing and all that good stuff. Well, now you have a secondary condition of insomnia due to those conditions, right? So, or another example would be you have bad legs, right? And so you're pushing yourself out of your chair, right? So you got a bad knee, bad hip, whatever, that's service connected already, and you're getting paid out, whatever, 10 or 20% for your bum knee, bad leg, whatever. And now you push yourself out of your chairs, right? Push out, and now your elbows are going or your shoulders going, something like that. So that's a secondary condition. It's something that was caused because of the other condition. Medication can also have side effects. And if you're being prescribed X, Y, and Z from the VA, probably take a look at the potential side effects and other issues. And if you develop any of those could potentially be secondary conditions due to the medication you're taking for your service-connected condition. It's a big puzzle. But what I want to make clear is that when you file a claim for a secondary condition, the VA is not doing anybody any favors helping you to develop your claim. And what I mean by develop your claim is anytime you think about doing anything with the VA, it is a legal process. And so everything that you're providing is considered evidence, and you're going to package it up and give it to the VA. So what I mean by the VA is not going to do you any favors is you're not going to be able to just say, hey, VA, I have these service-connected conditions, and I think they're causing these other problems for me. I'd like to file a claim for those so that way I can get seen for them, get compensated for them, or what have you. The VA is just going to deny you on a claim like that. You still need to provide the VA diagnosis, okay? So it's not just you saying, I have sleeping problems, or I have, an elbow issue now because I keep pushing myself out of the chair. None of that means anything. Us thinking it doesn't mean anything. Even though the VA has a host of doctors that could diagnose us, that doesn't happen. We have to provide the diagnosis up front in our claim process to the Veterans Benefits Administration. Now, once you have that diagnosis, is that enough? No, you need some sort of evidence now to Nexus link, okay, not to your time in service, but instead to that existing service-connected condition. So it would be ideal if you had your doctor who diagnosed you with X in those conversations, you should be articulating, yes, I've been having this sleeping problem, as a result of my back. Not just I have a sleeping problem. I can't sleep, period. That does not tie it to your existing condition. I have this elbow problem. I've had it, for the last couple years, and it's gotten worse, period. Not good enough. I've had it because I've been having to push myself out of my chair because of my knees, or whatever your service-connected condition is. You need to create that nexus, that link between the diagnosed condition and a current service-connected condition as your nexus, okay? So when you file your claim with the VA, they will clearly be able to see that connection. Now, what's going to happen is, once you file your claim with the VA for secondary conditions, and maybe an increase on the existing condition, right? So if you feel like your back got better, or not better, no. If you feel like your back got worse, you can go get a better rating potentially by filing for an increase. Let's say you got a 0% for your back, but now it's worse and it's causing you this insomnia and all these other things, and you feel that your back condition could warrant a higher rating. You could put in for a higher rating than a 0, go in for that and see about getting a 10 or a 20 or what have you. Range of motion stuff is always funky for ratings, but you could put in for that and put in for a secondary condition to your back. So now you file this claim. Then what's going to happen is the VA is going to notify you that they've received your claim, and then ideally, you're going to get called up for that C&P exam, in which you can talk with the VA doctor or a contracted doctor about that specific condition. Here's the words of advice. If you're still hanging on this video, God bless you. So, here's the word of advice. If you are going to a C&P exam, you should dive into the VA's schedule of ratings for that specific condition of which you're going to go be seen for, and read yourself what the VA is looking for each specific rating. So whether it's let's say that it's the insomnia. If it's insomnia and it's rated under mental health and it is a chronic adjustment disorder type of a rating, you could be looking at, let's say a 10% or a 30% rating for that. Read the description, and if you see that you meet the criteria, for example, in the 30% rating schedule, and you don't meet all the criteria for the next level up, then articulate or write down all that stuff so you can articulate that to the C&P examiner that you're experiencing these things. Because the worst thing that can happen to you is you're showing up not prepared, and you don't express everything that you're actually experiencing. You're leaving out a lot of things because you simply just can't remember it all. So write it down, take it with you, write it down, give it to them. Anything like that works. It's fine. It's you taking care of yourself and taking this seriously. So in any case, I just wanted to shed a little light on secondary conditions and how to prep yourself for them and make sure you're getting the best you can. Thanks again. I appreciate each and every one of you. And remember, if we don't take care of each other, something went wrong.